What is up, you gorgeous, fabulous creatures, and welcome. Welcome. I was going to say welcome, bitches. Welcome to another week of the Losing It podcast. You're here with Kylie Pax, Australia's emotional eating coach. And first and foremost, I want to say a huge fucking thank you to everybody that has been diving into my DMs. I got a special and especially good message this week from a gorgeous lady. I won't say her name because I didn't ask her permission, but she dropped into my DMs, said she found me on the podcast and that she downloaded my free course. Can I just insert this here? KyliePax.com/free course, because you got to understand this. I think she said she lost, I can't remember now if it was 8 kilos that she's lost just from listening to me on the podcast and doing the steps in the free course. Actually, she found me on YouTube. She has been following the steps in the free course and she said, I can't believe that you're not charging people for this. I'm only 1 kilo away from my goal weight now. And I'm like, sister, this is exactly what it's about. People, you've got to understand. We are here to rise each other up. As women, we are not here to tear each other down. You should never, and let me just say it again for the people in the back, you should fucking never be scrolling through your socials and looking at another woman and feeling any kind of jealousy, upset, comparison, just any disparity between how they look and you is so not necessary because, and let me tell you why, honey. I'm about to tell you why today in the most short, succinct, fabulous way ever. Let me tell you a little story before I go there. I was reading a post today from a really cool friend of mine that I've met online because all the coolest people are online. I met this guy online. We've never, that sounds very a bit shady now, doesn't it? No, we're both using the same fitness coach and he's doing the same fitness program as me because I'm trying to build my muscle and he's trying to, fill out his physique, I guess. He's in the US, I'm in Australia, but we connected because we use the same fitness coach. And he did this post that I thought, oh my God, I think this is the best thing I've ever read in my entire life. Let me share this with you. He explained, now, first let me preface this by saying this is not something I've never heard before. I'd heard this sort of scenario before, but I didn't hear it the way he explained it. And he was talking about the eagle and how, we've all heard this, that when the eagle is under attack or there's predators or adversaries, the eagle flies really high and then, I don't know, something, and the things, it just wins. The eagle always wins. This is my vague recollection of something about why the eagle is so fantastic. But the way that my friend worded it today was just so good that it suddenly dropped from head knowledge to heart knowledge. And I was like, fuck, this is the best thing I've ever read in my life. Let me just find the exact sentence that he said. So this is my mate, Keith Tankersley. His user, what is it? What the fuck do you call it? Not a username. His handle is Tankersley_fit. If you wanted to, I don't know if any guys listen to the podcast or if it's something you want to have a look at, that's his handle. But if you're listening, Keith, you're not getting any fucking royalties. That you gave me a whole podcast episode, too bad. So this is what he said. He said in this little comparison with the eagle, he said, you become exactly what and who you spend your time around. Okay, yeah, ovs. It was this last sentence that really got me. He said, the eagle is the most majestic bird there is. When it's surrounded by groups of predators, the eagle climbs his elevation to such a height that his adversaries cannot breathe. That's all he said. And I literally almost fell off my chair with shock and awe because, as I said, for the very first time, that really hit me. And you've got to understand why. The next time that little voice in your head gets all up in your grill, listen, Kylie, you should just go ahead and eat all the Cheezels now because you had 2. You had 2 from the packet. You should have just eat them all. Just finish the packet of those biscuits that you're eating and then they won't be there tomorrow. You're really tired today. You've worked hard. You've done this. You've done that. You deserve a day off. Just eat. Any fucking time that voice gets all up in your grill, I want you to think about the eagle because that voice is not your friend. It's not listen, I don't like to think that we have a predator living in our head, but sometimes it would behoove you to think and understand that we are not always our besties, our own best friends. We do have conflicting thoughts in our mind. And the problem is that when you overeat, when you binge eat, when you fuck up and eat more than you feel like you were comfortable eating, you treat it as if you were solely responsible for that. No, there was a thought that preceded your bullshit actions. And that was the thought that you needed to catch, like the eagle does. And all you need to do the next time you hear those thoughts come in, and the thoughts are all like, yeah, Kylie, I don't think, I don't know, you shouldn't, or you should just go ahead and eat all the chocolate, Kylie, because, you deserve it and you've just been so good lately and you deserve it. I need to look at that thought and go, the fuck? Rather than sitting there for the next 2 hours of my evening and fighting with it and scrambling with it and just go, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Why is this so hard? What's wrong with me? No, that's not my job. My job is not to fucking do shit like that. My job is not to fight with myself, to wonder what's wrong with me, to wonder why I can't do this and I can't get it right. It's not my fucking job. It's not your job, sis. Your job is to elevate yourself to such a high standard that your adversaries cannot breathe up there. I mean, you get your ass up and you go for that walk. You get your ass up and you join the fucking gym membership that you've been saying you were going to join for 6 months, and or you go to the one that you did join and haven't been. You start getting into the self-development. You read that fucking book. Turn off Netflix and read the damn book. Do some journaling. Do the fucking dishes if that's what you have to do. But you do something that will allow your inner self to climb to an elevation that your adversaries cannot join you there. That voice in your head, that fucking voice. And if you've listened to any of my episodes, you know I call that voice Darrow. I don't have time today to explain why. I'm going to tell you which episode Darrow features in. I'm going to have to find out. But Darrow is the voice that comes into your head, and it got that little nickname because he's a fucking derelict that constantly comes into your head and is like telling you to do the exact opposite of what you know you should be doing to hit your goals and reach the heights that you know you're capable of reaching. But you don't do it. Nah, instead you fucking listen to Darrow all up there in your grill. Yeah, you should do this, or you shouldn't do that, and you should just lie around and eat chisels all day and watch fucking reruns of Oprah. No, honey. I'm just going to say no. That is not your job. Your job is not to listen to Darrow. Your job is certainly not fucking to obey Darrow. Your job, the minute you hear that adversary thought, is to rise yourself to an elevation that adversary thought simply cannot breathe. He cannot stand being up that high because you are up so high in your standards, in the way you conduct yourself, in the way you think about yourself, in the way you treat yourself when you see yourself in the mirror. Come on, sis. You know what I'm talking about. You want to get rid of emotional eating like bang overnight? Understand that those thoughts that are in your head is where the battle begins and ends. There is nothing more for you to do. Absolutely nothing. You don't need to fucking do keto. You don't need to cut your calories to 200 a day. You don't need to fucking do 10 million hours of workouts. And that's nice if you want to do it, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. What's necessary is for you to pay attention to the adversary thoughts that are coming in your head, the ones that are adverse to the actual goal that you have in mind. You're like, how do I know which thoughts? Well, they're the ones, first of all, that make you feel like shit. And then secondly, they're the ones that do not align with the goal that you have, which is to stop emotional eating, stop overeating, stop telling yourself bullshit stories that you're going to do something and you never fucking do it. Come on. I mean, what more is there to be said at this point? So I want to thank let me just thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. Thus concludes our TED Talk. And as I take my award, I'm going to thank Mr. Tankersley for my inspiration for today's episode. And of course, as you know, if you have any questions, thoughts, comments that you want to share, come find me over on Insta, Kylie Pax. I want to say KyliePax.com. Come and find me. I'm Kylie_Pax, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one on there. So find me over on Insta, drop me a comment in my DMs. I really, really, really want to connect with you all so that I can know how you feel about the podcast, how you're loving the podcast, how you're liking the podcast. And then get your cute little booty on over to kyliepax.com/free course and get the free course, sis, so that you can start crushing your weight loss goals just the way that sister did, as I said at the beginning of today's episode. As you know, I'm sending you tremendous amounts of love. Please remember, as always, the only person who has the power to change your life is fucking you. You know it. I know it. The universe knows it. Everyone fucking knows it. The only person who's not paying attention to it is you. The only person who has the power to change your life is you. When you step up and start realizing that that ridiculous voice in your head that is giving you so much conflict and so much pain is literally not your best friend, and you don't need to fight with it. You don't need to argue with it. You actually don't need to pay no attention to it whatsoever. All you need to do is rise yourself to such a high standard that that adversary cannot even breathe up there. When you do that, that's when you know you got what it takes. I'm sending you love. I will see you again next week. Until then, gorgeous ones, bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to kyliepax.com and sign up for one of my programs so you can start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources in my past podcasts that will help you lose the weight without all the BS drama. I will see you next week.